Hey girl, it's good to see you. How have you been? The He is miracle food. It's the best for detoxing, cleansing, healing, removing inflammation, and boosting your immune system. It's suitable for all ages, and it helps me out tremendously during pregnancy. Allergen-free, gluten-free, 100% organic, all-natural, and vegan. Chakradoctor.org. 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 818-429-1675.
I dropped the information to make sure people aren't fitting in that program where it's all right for us to kill each other and let our oppressor get away with all this shit. That's what they want us to do. And they give us the tools to do it. So we can't use them to be caught up in their game. Their game is make them fight each other while we rob them. And that's what we do. It's all right for a brother to kill another brother and be celebrated for it. And that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all because of fear. Because, people have to grow up in a certain environment where they have to survive. And then, you expect them to turn that shit off, and it's hard to. So if you come from a place where you have to be violent to survive, that's all you know. And that's all you teach. So we have to make that environment a little less traumatizing for the young ones so that they don't have to feel they have to kill to defend themselves and to survive. Because kids are taught to be tough only because they're like, yo, if you don't, someone's going to take advantage of it. You're taught to either be food or do the eating.
Yeah.
You kill or be killed. If you're taught to be would you rather be killed or be a killer? You're gonna say I'd rather be a killer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what choice do you have in that environment?
Right. Snitch culture. Do you think that's helping or hurting hip hop? We know the code, and we know that we don't allow any rats if you're in that game. But we seem like that's kind of getting promoted, and they've gravitated to that and kind of promoting that in front of everybody. Do you think that snitch culture or that word snitch is helping or hurting hip hop right now?
I mean, snitch doesn't help anything. So, I'm going to leave it at that.
Now, I seen you probably 2015 is when I first heard of the situation with Desiree Perez and Rocnation. You broke it down on Sway.
No. Next question. Dogs be fighting sometimes.
Marijuana business. How can we benefit off the marijuana business right now? Now that it's booming, it's popular, and we ain't going to jail for it.
I mean, it was way easier when it was illegal. Oversaturated, it's taxed. There's just so much regulation on it. It ain't the same game. It really isn't. So, once something gets regulated, that's when it becomes more expensive to do, less margin, more competition, more money that you have to put up. It's not an easy game. And I'm seeing people investing. I ain't seeing so many people really killing it like that because it's just it's a lot of competition. So, don't expect just because it was fun. Like, it's easier to sell liquor than to sell and grow weed because you got to grow weed. You know what I mean? A fan break, you fucked up if you're growing. There's too many microbials on it. If it's not cleaner than food, you fucked up in certain states. And then there's seed to sale. So they track every bud till it gets smoked. And you have to pay for that tracking system. Then there's taxes. And then you have to pay for the license. And then you have to build the shit based on code. This shit was rough. I was in it. I was like, fuck all that. It was fun. It was way more fun selling weed when it was illegal.
So it's not as lucrative as people think?
I don't know. I haven't made a whole lot of money doing it. I know it's a big business. I see funds and all that stuff. It's a new opportunity, but it's just at this point, for me, once everybody's hip to it, it's too hard. You're 2 for 5s. So, if you asked me that 5-10 years ago, I had a different answer for you. I was in it. But, honestly, truthfully, for me, it's too oversaturated now. For me.
Would it be smart? Would it be smart
to me to have ancillary things like the trays and if you have a genetic and you can license it, then that's easy. But actually physically growing it, fuck all of that.
Do you invest in stocks and stuff? Would you invest in a marijuana stock? Would that be smart?
Right now, I just invest in me.
Right.
I ain't got time for that shit. But I know that it's lucrative and people should learn it. It's just not a game I enjoy playing. I only do things that I would do for free. I only get paid to do it and like if I love basketball then I'd be a professional basketball player. If I love playing video games, I'd be a gamer. You know what I mean? I just do the shit that inspires me. Because again, I only work on my dreams, and my dreams become my job. And then that never feels like work. So you got to find your dream and get so good at it, something that you would do for free, that you do it all day long till you're better than everybody. And you can't look at yourself as a professional at it until you're making money, until it's paying your bills.
Right.
You're not a professional until you're making money at it. Just because you got something like a business, it don't mean necessarily that it's a professional business. A professional business, sometimes you lose, you have to invest, and then you get to a place where you sustain, and then you make profit. And you have to be able to do it for years. That's a professional business.
Right. Can you talk about the importance of passing the plug? I hear you say that often about, when you're learning something, a lot of us don't put other people on. Could you break that down for us?
Yeah. Nobody passes the plug. It's like they protect the plug, but they never want to help. So, once certain people get in position, they be like, oh, I don't know the boss or whoever it is that can help you number. They don't pass the plug. And I think people should do that. I pass all my resources. I don't see the purpose of hiding it.
Now break it down as far as the what you're doing with the streaming and your network. Could you break that down? Could you pass the plug, to us, other people looking to do that? What was the process of getting into that?
I mean, you could always white label it and go to someone that already makes it, but you have to populate it with your own content. Me, I got with some app makers because I wanted to architect one that doesn't exist. But, having an app means that you're in everybody's pocket. That means everybody's phone becomes your spot, your block. And if you have work to click, there's distribution. So there's no reason not to do it.
Power to flip. Talk about that. Grabbing income, flipping it, and reinvesting it. Is that still something that you hold true?
Yeah, that's what I do. I flip. So, if I make some money, I put it into something else so I can make double. I buy weight or do it at that level, or I inject it in a new company so that it can make more. So one company started here, it was Rockefeller, then it was Rockware, then I did Rachel Roy, then the next thing was DD172, Creative Control. Now I'm at television networks. It all came from a flip. The money I made from Rockware, I put into Rachel Roy. The money I made from Rachel Roy, I put into Dame Dash Studios. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Music was my first flip. That was my ounce. I flipped that, made it an eighth at Rockware. I flipped that, made it a key at Rachel Roy. I flipped that, made it 20 birds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all been a flip.